Hello, and thank you for watching. My name is Wendy Diaz-Wilson, and today I'm going to be presenting my second version of Curse of the Vampire, the board game. And the objective of this game is essentially you are a vampire starting from your coffin, and you are racing to the Daywalker ring. You are trying to sabotage your rivals with curses and be the first to claim the ring at the upper top, to no longer be a slave to the sun. So to start, the youngest player basically selects odd or even, and whenever that is rolled, that player gets to pick up a curse card seen at the top. So the Curse of the Vampire card, and the oldest player gets to go first since vampires, it's a typically a very big deal. The older you are, the stronger you are. So I wanted it to reflect the oldest would technically have a head start. And so here you see, the first player had rolled a 2 earlier and they picked up a curse card, and they got to go first. And from here, progress is essentially tracked by the position the player is in the game. So the very first vampire that reaches that last tile for the Daywalker ring is the winner. And so as players keep going, the real strategy part of this game is to sabotage the other player. And there will be ranging cards that will be shown throughout this. Uh, to basically make it anyone's game. Um, for instance, here, as you can see, the player pulled and played Vial of Nectar, which is actually one of the newer curse cards I added this time around, which is supposed to be like a vampire drinking blood and giving them that extra strength. So the player gets to go an extra turn. So along with that card, I also created the dice this time around using epoxy and some like red powder, but like red powder to kind of match the aesthetic of the game, and then painted the numbers black. And so now finally the youngest player finally got to pull a curse card, which was one of the Crimson Moon, to kind of have like the power of this blood moon. And then now the oldest player rolled a 6. They've been very lucky during this game, rolling a lot of even numbers. Another important thing to note about the gameplay is handling multiple cards. So if more than one card is played at once, the order that the player would go in is non-active player card gets to go first. So in simpler terms, the sabotage card gets to go first, whoever the other player is. And then the active player's die roll would go. So there would still be movement. So say, for instance, a card was played. After that card is played, then the player would be able to move that remaining number of die. The other thing to note that there is one exception. One of the cards is called Grave Return. And when that is played, the affected player goes straight back to the start and does not get to use their die roll movement that turn. So if the other player plays it on them, they have to go straight back, and there's nothing they can uh, do movement wise, except there are I think approximately 2 cards that can defend against this. One being a complete cancel card, which I don't think gets played during this video of gameplay, but the other card that is able to somewhat defend does get played, which will be essentially switching places with a player. So say you send that player back to the start and then they use the curse card that says switch players with any player. That does happen, and I believe there is approximately 2 of those cards in this deck. So now the youngest player played Ritual Revival, which is also one of the newest cards that I added this time around, which this basically changes the direction of game order. And it is similar to Uno. Like if you have 2 players, the player who put that down gets to go again. Um, and if you have more than 3, then it would just go counterclockwise instead. Another thing to note is you can only have a max number of 3 curse cards in your hand at once. So if you do, say, draw a 4th card, like if it is your turn, you have to either immediately play a card or you have to discard a card in order to pull that fourth card. Um, so now that we're getting closer to the end, things get a little bit more fun here. So, Vampire Tricks was played, and this means you basically swap positions with another vampire. The oldest player also got ahead of themselves and put down a second card, and they had a little bit of back and forth because one card per person's turn. And essentially now that turn ended, so they can play that card now. So they were waiting and seeing who's gonna play, and the oldest player plays their card and essentially sends the other one back to the start. So now, clearly at this point, the youngest is in last place. As the game continues, the oldest player rolls their three, while the other one play stake in the road and they have to go back three. And then they get to move forward their three. So it's still not anyone's game, but it's still a game. Another new aspect of the design part of this game is I enlarged the board game overall and actually created the little pieces this time that the players are so they fit better on the game. And here, as you can see, I lied. It was anyone's game. Another Vampire Tricks was played last second, meaning the youngest got to switch with the oldest. And so we'll see if they roll a 1. Nope. And they rolled a 5, meaning that they finished the game and they were the winner.